Welcome in, all you wonderful, cool people who love wrestling, or if you just love our faces. Thanks for stopping by. It's CHGO Wrestling on your airways right now. I'm your host, Big Dave. This is the special advocate. He is Greg Boysen. The man on the ones and twos is our guy, Sean Anderson. Make sure you check out CHGO White Sox as well. What up? What's going on? How you feeling, Greg?
Another day in paradise, my friend. Another day in paradise.
Shout out Phil Collins. How are you, Sean? Doing well?
Oh, I'm doing great. All right. Doing better than ever.
Better than ever? Oh, man. I like to see us before. Damn. Coming up, man, we're going to get into AEW's Double or Nothing results. We also got that heel of the week as well. But first, let's start with WWE Saturday night's main event. It happened. It was a thing. It went down. Yay. Let's start with the thing I actually like. The Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker going up against CM Punk and Sami Zayn. Now, the entire time, this awesome thing has been coming together for Seth Rollins and his faction. I've been wondering who's going to be the next guy. I personally thought it was going to be a guy like Sami Zayn because I thought that was the clear, like, nobody's watching it. Nobody's seeing it coming. It's not going great for him. It hasn't been going super great for him for like a year or so. You know, and everybody loves Sami Zayn, so it would just be a crazy, crazy, awesome turn. But they said, we hear you, but how about we throw in the big fella from down under and drop a tsunami on your head? And I loved how he came in and came out of the crowd, spit the water in the air like he was Triple H, and then went and put CM Punk right through the barrier, man. I think it's a great pickup for them.
Yeah, it definitely was unexpected. I don't think there was a lot of, it was one of those few moments that they were kind of able to keep quiet.
Yeah.
It didn't get, so many times with the internet and the dirt sheets and all that stuff, you know what's going to happen before it's going to happen. So especially with how, Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins were in the midst of a pretty violent feud when Reed got hurt during War Games.
Yeah.
That was November Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. So to have him come back and now be an ally of Seth Rollins is an even bigger surprise. But I love the way they did it. Just shows up out of nowhere, and it just seems that every time Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman get the upper hand, it's at CM Punk's expense.
Yeah,
and I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, CM Punk has also been on a losing streak as well ever since this kind of has gone down. He's turned into the, Uber face now as far as being over with the crowd. But, man, Seth Rollins, even that Monday after it happened, just that promo that they cut in the middle of the ring with Paul Heyman, and I thought Paul Heyman was great just by what he said, even saying how, Bronson Reed was destroying Seth Rollins. And I kept saying, oh, is he going to give a look or anything like that? Nope, none of that. You know what I mean? We're going to keep going. And he just talked about the power. I'm after this power, and I can't wait to do it. It just makes me more excited, you know what I mean, going forward for the weekly, you know what I mean, to see what happens week after week after week with this new faction and what the name is going to be.
Right. And you set up Money in the Bank perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get more into that.
Sure,
but,
sure.
What better way to have all the power than also have the Money in the Bank briefcase too?
Yeah.
Talk about reasons to tune in every week. There's another one for you right there.
Yeah, man.
When and how is he going to turn that in? If he wins it, he may not, but it seems to be right now the obvious direction. Mm-hmm. But we've thought obvious directions many times, and then you get the swerve, bro.
Yeah, it happens. Let's go to Damian Priest against Drew McIntyre. Steel cage match. Set it up as these two guys really hate each other. Damian Priest walked away the winner. I think the highlight of this match was Jesse Ventura absolutely losing his mind at the way that this happened as far as the win.
I think Jesse the Body Ventura will not be asked back.
But this is why you should have him
to another Saturday night's main event, because I understand why he's there.
Sure.
It's Saturday night's main event. That was his show. It takes me back to being, in the third grade.
Yeah.
Man, was that hard to listen to. But he wasn't wrong.
That's my point.
He wasn't wrong.
What was hard to listen to? I thought that was like, honestly, that's what I want Jesse Ventura for.
I agree 100%.
The end of the match criticizing, why did you just leave? That's stupid. that was entertaining and fun and off script and but everything leading up to that was just like, oh my God, turn this old man's microphone off.
Well, I think you just have to learn how to use them in spurts. Like
having him on the back with Joe Tessitore is good.
Yeah.
Kind of setting up things or recap. That's good. I don't know if you need him.
Give him one match.
I mean,
give him at least one.
I mean, it depends. How much did he piss off Triple H?
Yeah, true.
With crapping on the ending of the match.
But like, also, I think that again is like, that adds to wrestling. If I'm Triple H, I'm not mad at that at all. Like, that gives like, that protects kayfabe, I feel like. Because again, like, you shouldn't know the match ending. Jesse Ventura, even though, you know, he's calling the match, probably knows how it's going to end.
Right.
Him reacting like that, I feel like plays into the entire bit because it makes Priest feel more like dastardly. Like, all right, well, now this guy's a villain. McIntyre's out and he's just a chicken who walked out of the entire steel cage. Like, I feel like that's way better.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what a color commentator should do.
Be a disruptor, basically.
It's getting people, not just us, but people talking about that match who otherwise probably would have like just been like, thank God it's over, because how many times we got to see these two guys wrestle? And now I think Drew is going to be off TV for a little while, dealing with some injuries. So that sets that up. The only problem with that is he's going to come back for revenge. So we're going to get Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre part 38 when he comes back.
Why does he need revenge? He won at Mania. He got the upper hand.
Should have ended then.
Right. This was just BS. I think that just Priest and McIntyre are done.
I hope so.
They're done.
Or at least if you revisit it again in 6 months, fine. It will feel, somewhat. But how can I miss you if you don't go away?
Oh, I've said that many a day to several ladies in my life. Let me move on to this one. It's kind of true. Let's move on to this one. Jey Uso against Logan Paul. Jey Uso gets the win against Sean's favorite in Logan Paul. The ending of the match is what it was about. John Cena, who set it up pretty much that he was coming out there after he spoke to him backstage, comes and, interrupts something we rarely see John Cena do, but this is heel Cena. He comes out and then the music hits and the return of Homelander, as my man Matt Peck likes to call him. My man Cody Rhodes shows back up and is in the ring with Jey Uso and sets up the tag team match of John Cena and Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso at Money in the Bank. How did you feel about the return, and how do you feel about that tag team match?
The return was fine. Like, you got to bring him in at some point, and this was a good chance. It's NBC. It's a primetime event. You're having a lot of eyeballs watching your product that you normally don't. Yeah. So that's the perfect time to bring back one of your biggest stars, if not your biggest star right now.
Sure.
The tag match, it's a lot better than a rumor to be John Cena and Travis Scott versus Jey Uso and whoever. Like, as much as we rag on Logan Paul and hate on Logan Paul, all of it justified and correct. At least the dude can wrestle.
He can wrestle.
So it will be a better match than if it was Travis Scott, who we still don't know why he's there.
Should Hill of the Week just be called the Travis Scott Award? like, my God. Go ahead, Sean.
This segment is just now Travis Scott, you suck. 20 minutes of Travis Scott wrestling might have been hell, so I'm glad that it is Logan Paul. So I'll give Logan Paul credit for something.
Sure.
I guess I was just a little bit miffed because I am apparently the biggest R-Truth fan out there. I would have rather seen like that match get 10 minutes and then this one get 4 minutes. Like, if you are going to set it up and just have it break up, like, I don't really need to see that. But maybe the hard truth is that, now Cena and R-Truth are just 50. And they just can't go that longer. I thought the Cena stuff with Stephanie was pretty insightful on Stephanie's Places, because that's a real show.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing that you could totally watch. But Cena just being like, I have all these records in the gym for setting all these presses, and I can't even do those anymore. Like, my body is just broken down. So maybe that is just what it's an indictment of is, I want more from this Cena last ride. And I think they've drawn a little bit too much attention to it.
Yeah.
Like, because now his next match is just going to be a tag team match where he's going to be fairly protected by Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Understandably, but I don't know. I think that it started off so high because you're like, where were they going to go with this Rock Cena thing? And I do not care.
No, I don't.
I don't care.
I had a discussion, a debate online in one of the wrestling groups I'm in about this, saying that like this has been one of the most disappointing angles ever. And somebody's like, well, how could you be disappointed with a guy saying he's going to ruin wrestling and he's actually ruining wrestling? And it's like, yeah, but it went from Cena and The Rock together. And who else is coming? To Cena versus R-Truth. Yeah. No disrespect to R-Truth, but come
I hear
on.
what you're saying.
That is a major fall from Cena Rock to Cena R-Truth. How did we get from point A to point B so quickly?
Yeah.
To where I literally don't care. I just want the strap off of Cena so we can get on to long-term stuff. Because this isn't a long-term story.
No.
It never was going to be.
No.
But at least you could have had a lot of fun along the way.
Yeah.
But you've taken that factor out of it. So now let's just get it over with.
And like the whole thing about Cena's like annoying, droning personality has been hustle, loyalty, and respect. Two things that just Logan Paul are nothing.
Yeah.
He's never had in his godforsaken life.
I'll give him hustle.
So it's like, he's got the hustle, right? But no, he's. I don't know about loyalty.
I don't know about loyalty.
Not respectful.
And I don't know about
just go see how he does in Japan. Filming the forests. Right? Like he's just a disgusting human. So it's just weird to see him align with this guy for no reason.
Well, he did give you a reason, though. When he talked to Jey Uso, he was like, what better way to ruin wrestling than to make sure a YouTuber has your title?
He did say this.
So his reasoning is to ruin wrestling?
Yeah.
Yes, that's his reason.
That's his whole MO. Gimmick now is ruining wrestling.
To ruin wrestling.
And he said, what better way to ruin it is to make sure the world championship is held by a YouTuber. So he doesn't he has no faith in Logan Paul. He's calling him a part-time hack too.
I'll say quickly though, this John Cena R-Truth match, I agree with Sean. I thought it should have been a little more because I think the crowd was kind of set up to root for R-Truth and they didn't really give it time to allow the crowd to kind of do that for him. And even even how he wrestled, like, I'm just going to do John Cena moves and, then I'm
coming out as John Cena.
Yeah, I'm like that. Now that I cracked up at, man. Ron Cena was pretty damn hilarious.
Sure, but it was also kind of like, what are we doing here?
I liked Ron Cena. I mean, again, at the end of the day, R-Truth has just been a comedy character for a large part. But I thought the promo on Friday was pretty decent. I mean, like that's what Truth can do when you do give him an actual like serious line. But like R-Truth got ran over quicker than a punter did.
Yeah.
Like that's how long that Pat McAfee match should have been. Yet you're giving us the whole storyline of Michael Cole is so strong, being able to hold down Gunther. Like, get the F out of here. Yeah. Like, R-Truth has been wrestling for 25 years, and you guys just write him off like he's a clown. The actual clown's the punter.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
I can't argue none of that. That's real tough.
No, I would.
He wasn't even on this show. I could keep it.
I would have. Yeah, he's catching strays. He wasn't even there. But I would have. Yeah, to like give R-Truth a match or at least like a moment, maybe like one near fall to get the crowd going. Oh my god! Just one.
Just give
and
me
then you have him stand up and kick him in the nuts and win the match. Sure. But give the crowd that one instant of, oh my god!
Yeah.
Everybody knew right away that match was a nothing, and R-Truth had no chance. So what are we even doing here?
So even Cena, like even doing what you said, what he did when he kicked him in the nuts, and even after it happened so immediate.
Yeah.
That didn't give you time to build to it.
Yeah, you should have at least given R-Truth people a glimmer, even if it's just for an instant, that maybe he has a chance to actually win this match.
I agree.
Because that's what people want. Those are the exciting moments of that. Oh my god! Oh
yeah. Like we did. Nah.
Give him one,
like,
but you didn't get any. You didn't get
any of it, man.
Slap in the face.
Yeah, I agree. And it didn't send him out with the microphone to do his song either. I didn't. Yeah, always send R-Truth out with a microphone.
Well,
so
he wasn't coming out to his music.
No, fair point. He could have kicked the freestyle. Good done it. The women's United States Championship match, Zelina Vega beating the one and only Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, I just am so entertained by week after week to the point where I like that she's to a point where she doesn't need the title. I wanted her to have the title, and look what she turned her character into.
She gave
just
it
because
credibility.
She had that.
To me, I find Chelsea Green a million times more entertaining than Tiffany Stratton.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt,
She's got
sir.
better personality.
Yep.
She's better in the ring.
Yep.
Everything is better.
I agree.
I'm over the Tiffany Stratton thing.
I've been over it. Yes.
Oh, you know what? I know why. I never really was into it to begin with. Like, it was just kind of like, okay, she's got like flavor of the month written all over her.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll get better and be great, but like, I don't get why she's on the pedestal. Chelsea Green should be the world champ. You know, she should be in that spot.
She should be getting that push.
She's better at everything.
Everything, man. Like, just the entertainment factor should put her alone as a contender. You know what I'm saying? For a match. Like, she should have a world title match. She's got the secret Hervis, for God's sakes, man. Like, it is completely entertaining watching her. And you mentioned the wrestling. Like, the wrestling is also kind of an underrated aspect of her, I think, as well, man.
She's very good.
Like, she's really solid.
She's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, her and her husband train a ton.
Shout out Matt. Yeah.
It's in her. It's in her blood. It's in her DNA. And I think she deserves maybe taking the U.S. title off of her and maybe breaking up the secret Hervis and getting that going. Maybe that's the start of pushing her to the bigger title.
That's what I was thinking too. I mean, you just see this match. First of all, Chelsea also breaks her nose in this, so I think it only goes 5 minutes because of that, which was a little concerning. You'd want to see them go a little bit longer.
Sure.
But she is easily the best wrestler. Like her and Vega, like she's easily the better worker. You think that this could propel her to something bigger? I mean, is this a Money in the Bank winner?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Okay. I mean, like I think that could be next for Chelsea Green.
I hope so. She deserves it.
She deserves it. She deserves it, man.
She deserves it.
All right, let's go over to AEW, sir, and check out Double or Nothing, a pay-per-view event by the fine people. Shout out to all the crew over there. Hope to see you all here in studio hanging out with us very, very soon, because they will be here in July.
Almost all of July.
Yes, they will be doing a residency here in July. Tickets are on sale right now, July 16th, 17th, 23rd, 26th, the 30th, and the 31st, filming Dynamite and Collision over at the Aragon Room. So, yes, get your tickets now.
That should be fun. I can't wait I'm going to definitely hit up at least one of those shows.
I'll be with you, sir. We'll do this.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this, so it should be fun. Sean, you want to go?
I mean, I'll have to. At this point, you're mentioning it on stage. And I mean, I was interested enough. And then you mention it that, like, hey, you want to go? It's like, I don't not want to go.
Put him on the spot there. Oh, man. All right, let's go over Double or Nothing, man, and some of the key matches from there. The Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament match, the final between Hangman Adam Page and Will Ocean Spray, was a you like I do that? It was a wrestler's wrestler match.
Great match.
That's what it was. It was about wrestling, like 40 minutes of just wrestling. And near falls, like my brain broke after a while, because I'm like, bro, I don't, okay, you do it. And I love when I get to that point where I know how stuff's supposed to go. And then after certain things happen, I'm like, you know what? You got it. Like, I think of Cena and AJ Styles when they had a match and they just kept kicking out of their finishers. And I was like, you do it now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this was one of those matches for me.
Two expert, great wrestlers, a lot on the line, not only the Owen Hart tournament final, but the winner moves on to All In July 12th. Their biggest show of the year, and will face Jon Moxley for the world title that he allegedly has in a briefcase.
And
I love both of these guys. Will Ospreay is one of my favorite wrestlers in the world right now, and as much as I would have loved to see him get that AEW title or at least get that shot, it makes all the sense in the world for Adam Page to get that spot. If you've been following along with the Death Riders angle, they've kind of taken over AEW. They're kind of anti, everything. The belt's been in his briefcase since he won it. Adam Page, Hangman Page is the perfect guy to take that back as a day one AEW guy, a guy looking for redemption after all the shady stuff he's done over the last year. All that stuff with Swerve burning down his house and then retiring Christopher Daniels and all that stuff he's done. He's looking for redemption. What better way to do it than bring back the AEW title to AEW? That's why it makes the most sense. It's also storyline makes sense, but it makes sense wrestling wise because as Hangman has shown us he can wrestle any match and make it great. We saw that match with Ospreay. Ton of athleticism, a ton of high-flying moves, great storytelling in the ring. He also can have, some of his matches with Bryan Danielson were amazing technical matches, but he could also get violent and fight, and he's going to have to do that with Moxley, but he can do those three things seamlessly. Yeah. He can do all those things in the same match. Where Ospreay, I love him, but I don't think him and Moxley would work in a match.
Sure.
The clashes of styles are just too much, and I don't think they can find a middle ground to really make it work and make it special. And Hangman and Mox can do that.
Yeah, I think the styles and the name kind of play into this as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So you got to sell tickets.
Yeah, got to do that. Also, the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament Final with Jamie Hayter. Am I saying that right? Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Mone. Mercedes Mone walks away the winner, setting up her match with timeless Toni Storm. If you didn't watch that promo, you really need to. Like those two. Yeah, it's yes, we talked about big names and, name selling things. Those two in the ring together. And I was saying to you out there, anytime you're putting together matches for your big event, you should always be thinking Austin Rock all the time as far as who you're going to put together, or Ali Frazier. Right. You know what I mean? Because it's rare where those two meet in their prime. It's rare when that happens. And when it does, it should happen all the time, which is why I want to see Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair so bad. So I just want to see it all the time. And this, for me, putting Mercedes up against Toni Storm is exactly what that is.
Yeah, you've got two of the best in the business in the prime of their careers. Toni Storm has done some of the best women's work over the past year and a half of anybody ever.
Yeah, agreed.
Not just her promos, the character is amazing, but her in-ring work is great. And Mercedes Mone is one of the, when it's all said and done and you talk about Mount Rushmores of women wrestling, she might be on it when it's all said and done. Like, she's been that good.
She's been that good. And that's real.
And so you got these two well-established names, the two best women in your company, and now you're going to put them on your biggest stage, and you're going to give them 6 weeks of runway to build. It's going to be amazing. The build is going to be better than the match, but that's going to get people excited to show up and to buy the pay-per-view is just to see that match.
Well, and I think too with Toni, this is kind of when AJ got Kurt in TNA. Like you truly are giving her that name to elevate her, because I think wrestling fans know that Toni Storm is the shit, but I don't know if we're allowed to swear.
Yeah,
said it anyways. You're
in charge of editing this thing anyway.
So she's the shit, but I don't think wrestling fans know that yet. And if she goes and does this against Sasha Banks, Mercedes, this is going to truly put her on the map of all of wrestling.
And if she loses to Mercedes, it's not going to really take anything away from her, because that's what everybody does.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it will be interesting to see how that's one of those matches where you're like, I wonder where they're going to go with this.
Yeah.
Neither of them necessarily need the belt, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm very intrigued by this. I'm more excited about that match than the Hangman Moxley match.
I think adding more gold to Mercedes just really adds to that character that she's playing, because I love watching her walk to the ring with all the belts on all the time. Adding another one and then just figuring out where she's going to put it on herself is just, I am all for that. And those two, the wrestling is what it's going to come down to, because those are both two really great wrestlers, man. But should be an amazing match. Anarchy in the Arena, or as I like to call the cluster, thing that happened was insanity. Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightmare, and the Ops versus the Death Riders and the Young Bucks, who came out as the founding fathers, which was absolutely hilarious. I was watching this match, and truth be told, this is where I came in on the pay-per-view, because I was watching this match, and I've turned it, and I was like, what is going on? That was my first thought. I see Swerve walk out dressed like the Predator. That was awesome. And I'm like, all these people about to wrestle, and they're about to put this on all these. How does this work? In the middle of the match, I was like, more. Yeah. I was so into it. It was like
a car wreck. You could not stop watching.
It was a demolition derby that was happening out there. Tune in, Demolition Derbies, kids. But it was amazing and crazy. and wild. And it gave me everything I wanted that you love about wrestling. Just the ridiculousness of it and the actual validity of it at the same time.
Timing up bodies like for an outside suicide dive. Like, come on.
The music playing.
Yeah, they had the music playing in the arena during the whole thing. For some reason, the Pointer Sisters were on for a little bit of that match. I mean, it was silly.
Why not?
But that's great. I mean, that's a match that only AEW can provide. And Dave and I were talking about this before we got on the air about how WWE and AEW are different products. They're both pro wrestling companies, but they're completely different products. Where WWE is about the whole package: the entertainment, the spectacle, the stories, the backstage segments, the drama. Where to the point of like a lot of matches are kind of secondary. Like it's not necessarily about the match sometimes, where AEW, it's all about the match. They don't, they do. Yeah. They have promos and they have their storylines, but you seem to get more of the payoffs at their events than the WWE events. So it's kind of an old school way where it was like, you build to the pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view is, you get rewarded at the pay-per-view, where now in WWE, pay-per-views, except for, a handful of big ones, are kind of there just to move the weekly story. Where it's just like, hey, we're setting you up so, the next 8 Mondays are going to be about this.
Right, exactly.
Where AEW is like, hey, we're going to beat the living hell out of each other, and then we're going to move on to our next feud.
And I mean, it just really, really worked. And it was just really entertaining. Even Swerve driving in, you know what I'm saying, jumping off of...
Dude wrestled with a staple in his tongue.
It was like showing it later. And then when they gave him the stapler gun, he's just hitting people with it. Like, a completely insane match. They let the bodies hit the floors playing like over and over again. Like, it was just, I loved it. I really did. I truly enjoyed it.
A lot of fun.
I hope they do something like that again, man. That was awesome. The stretcher match, Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet. I caught the last half of this one when I went back. Ricochet needs a title. Like,
he's
give this
so
dude
good.
something.
He's so good.
Just the shot of him at the end that they had of him just standing on the stretcher, just raising his hand, and then the shot of the scissors and like a pool of blood. I'm like, give this dude his shot, man. Yeah. He's been better on the mic than I thought that he ever was, and in the ring, he's still doing Ricochet stuff. He just added, some real violence to it.
Yeah.
On top of that, man, he has been outstanding, and he has really, truly been amazing, and doing it in a way that I didn't know that he could. Not that I think he couldn't. I didn't know he had that.
He was never allowed to.
Yeah, great point.
A lot of people will say that going from WWE to AEW is a demotion, and now he's gone from the biggest company in the world to wrestling in small arenas. But it's the best thing for his career to ever happen, because we're getting a different side of Ricochet. His mic work, never got to do promos like that in WWE. Never got to have this side of him, the violent side of him, while still being one of the best athletes in the business. It was great for him to be able to go and be himself, and really develop a character that, as you said, nobody really knew was there. I love heel Ricochet, and you're right. Get this man a belt.
Yeah, give him a belt.
Make up a new title and just give it to him.
Like, for real, he deserves it, man. Like, he has been awesome. The AEW Women's World Championship match: Toni Storm versus Mina. Don't want to butcher names. Shirakawa. Am I hitting that?
Yeah.
All right. I did not see this match.
I mean, it was a decent match. These two have history. They've wrestled a lot in Japan, and what it was good. But you knew Toni was winning because you knew she needed to be the champion for All In. You need to sell tickets.
She got to be the one,
and especially since Mercedes had already won at that point.
Right.
What are we doing here? But it was still a good match, entertaining, and those two are great at what they do, and it was a very entertaining match.
Show me about Mina, man. I don't know much about Mina.
I mean, she's mostly, most of her career in Japan. She kind of comes over every once in a while with their working relationships there. Very talented. She was part of that when they first brought Mariah May, and it was kind of like a trio, almost like a love triangle angle. It was awesome.
Right. They did kiss at the end of the match.
So, I mean, a little something for everybody. But she's super talented. I'm not sure if she's like full-time AEW now. I think I read that she is. So if she is, she'll be in that mix. She'll be one of their top tier stars. She's very good.
Okay. All right.
She's like a bigger, as far as size wise, but a little bit of that Io Sky in her, where there's the the fearlessness, and the athletic ability too. So she's very good. Anytime she's on a match, you're gonna want to watch.
Okay. All right, and the AEW World Tag Team Championship match: the Sons of Texas, Dusty Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, versus the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and now MJF also down with the Syndicate. This match live up to it for you?
Well, it didn't live up to it because I didn't have any expectations for it.
No, they didn't hurt people?
I mean, yeah, they did, and it furthered the line, the thing. I mean, this was a match that could have been on a Dynamite. It didn't need to be on a pay-per-view.
Okay.
It was fine.
Okay.
But, it wasn't outstanding. Shelton Benjamin, dude, is a machine.
A machine, bro.
He's 50.
Yeah, and
50.
Balling.
Do you look at Dustin Rhodes is only 2 years older than Shelton Benjamin. And Dustin Rhodes
it shows on Dustin.
Yeah, he's had a hard life.
That's a hard 50. Yeah.
But it furthered with the MJF and earning some trust. There was a spot where he was gonna give the ring to Bobby Lashley to hit Dustin with, but he didn't take it. But then at the end, they kind of smiled and hugged, and it was,
okay.
It's going to be fun to see what they do with MJF in that group and how they're going to get it to where MJF does the dastardly things that MJF does.
To be fair, Shelton got to go to college, live out his university Golden Gopher life. I think Dustin Runnels was wrestling at the age of 8, professional wrestling at the age of 8.
Fair point.
Did he have a chance to even age gracefully?
No, but
he was going through tables as a 13-year-old.
That's so true.
Yeah, but Dustin looks like he's been smoking filterless cigarettes.
Well,
I'm sure he has.
That's the life of a wrestler.
Through tables, yeah.
But, I'm just glad Shelton Benjamin is over that gold standard Cisco phase he went through for a while. That was bad.
Yeah, the hair was not great.
Yeah, was that his choice?
Probably not.
So.
Probably not, knowing who was writing.
But man, Shelton Benjamin is so good.
I really think you could probably in a couple years put the Intercontinental Championship on him, and maybe once he finally gets into the whole character, he's probably a world champion at some point, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the future.
Well,
for
at least
Shelton
competing
Benjamin.
for it.
It's still 2004, right?
Right.
That was that was the joke. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, he's going to be a tag team champion.
Well, no,
look how athletic he looks. That must be a 25-year-old.
Did you see the Shawn Michaels match?
You're gonna put him in 9 straight Money in the Bank matches. He's never gonna win one, but he's gonna be in it,
and he's gonna do the coolest things that you'll ever see until WrestleMania 30.
He's gonna open 7 straight WrestleManias in the Money in the Bank match.
He needed a crew like Kofi Kingston had. Is what he needed. He needed that kind of crew, man. Any other match you want to mention from this pay-per-view?
No, I think we covered the top ones. I mean, Okada with Speedball Mike Bailey. I haven't seen a ton of Speedball matches. We were kind of laughing because it was like, this guy looks like the 1-2-3 kid out there. But he's fun. He's exciting. But it's like, how many karate kicks can you watch in a match before you're like, okay, I'm good.
Okay.
But Okada is great. I really want Okada versus Kenny Omega at All In. They've been teasing that, so that would be a lot. That's a butts and seats match.
Okay.
So yeah, but it was overall AEW pay-per-views. They don't disappoint, even when they have ones that aren't top to bottom classics. Mm-hmm. They still give you what you want.
Yeah.
And if I had to choose. Here's a segue of spending money on an AEW pay-per-view or a WWE pay-per-view. I'm going with the AEW one every time because it's more entertaining. Because maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm crazy. I actually like wrestling matches in my wrestling shows.
Little wrestling in his wrestling
Not
show.
30 minutes in between each match.
Okay.
I mean, you watch the AEW pay-per-views, it's the match ends, the next one's out there.
Next one's out
boom,
there.
boom, boom.
It's true.
Where WWE get a match, then you got to do your promos, you got to do your highlight
shout-outs.
package.
Yeah.
Peacock's got to get its commercials in. Then your entrances are 20 minutes long. Like,
This is true.
That's all fine and good, but if I'm paying money, give me as much actual wrestling as possible, and that's what AEW does.
And you're right, sir. That perfectly leads into our heel of the week segment, or as we like to call it, the Travis Scott Award. So, Greg, sir, the floor is yours for the heel of thine week.
Well, my heel of the week is WWE.
Oh, interesting.
With their pettiness.
What a segue.
I mean, I didn't even think of bringing this up, but first of all, they yank WrestleMania away from New Orleans.
They did do this.
Even though they announced it, The Rock comes out and announces it. Maybe stop having The Rock come out and do anything, because everything he does eventually just goes so bad. So first of all, you take away WrestleMania from New Orleans, and we don't know what's going on. Some people think it's going to be in London or out of the country. Some people now think it's like they're going to try and make Vegas like every other year, or like the destination. I'm fine with that, and that makes sense. TKO is in Vegas, so it's kind of like probably like they look at it as an event to like, hey, we can schmooze all our sponsors here in Vegas where we know everything and we own half of the town, so like we can really make it. You know, and that's kind of the way entertainment is coming, and that's the way Vegas is operating now. Like everybody's having their residency there instead of people going on tour. You come see us. So we'll see how that goes. But the fact that they have put 3 events in Atlanta the same day and the same weekend as AEW All In, their big show, July 12th at the Texas Rangers ballpark. Their first stadium show in the U.S. And now they're putting Saturday night's main event and the Great American Bash, the NXT show. Those are going to be on the Saturday, the day of the pay-per-view, All In. And then the next day, they're bringing back the all-women's pay-per-view Evolution on Sunday, which will be great. I'm glad that that's not, on the Saturday, because they deserve a standalone. But they deserve their own weekend of... we're not scheduling this out of spite. Like, it's just petty, because why are you even acknowledging AEW? If you're the standard and you're so far ahead, why are you even saying, oh, we have to schedule events on the same day as their big event? Are you worried? You're validating them. Now you're because of course everybody's talking about, oh, these events are on the same night as All In. So now people are going, well, what's this All In? If WWE needs to schedule an event against it, it must be pretty good. I'm going to go check it out.
Makes sense.
And this is not 1987 when Vince McMahon pulled this same stuff with and basically put Jim Crockett out of business. In 1987, Starrcade was Jim Crockett's biggest event.
Oh, man.
1987 was actually here in Chicago at the UIC Pavilion.
Okay.
On Thanksgiving night, the night it's been on since it started. Vince decided, I'm going to do the Survivor Series on pay-per-view and force the pay-per-view companies to pick either or. You have to run mine or you don't get WrestleMania next year. Well, this is coming off of WrestleMania 3, the biggest event ever. So he had all the leverage. So instead of Starrcade being shown live on Thanksgiving night, pay-per-view companies showed it a week later and they carried Survivor Series. And then that next January, Jim Crockett was running another pay-per-view event, and Vince put the first ever Royal Rumble on free TV on USA Today. And basically 6 months later, they sold to Ted Turner, and it became WCW. But that's not what's going on here. People are going to watch what they want when they want. They're going to watch AEW live, and then they're going to turn on Peacock and just watch the replay, or vice versa. Like, it's not the same. So I just don't understand the pettiness.
So,
I was just more trying to hear him out, because I also thought Greg was advocating for more of a monopoly. So I was like, I thought Greg was like, no, you need to take over and push AEW out. Why would you acquiesce to the competition? So I was just more trying to hear Greg out. Okay. I didn't actually have much. I think it's very weird for them to just change at the last moment. I agree with that. What Greg said.
Competition is great for everybody. Like it's obvious that Triple H wants to do what Vince did in the 80s and be the only company. And that's not good. That's not good for the wrestlers, because if you get blackballed in WWE, you got nowhere to make a living. It's bad for the fans.
Right. Well, and
fans want options.
It's not even on Triple H. Like, let's point this mainly. We had Jeremy Piven in studio earlier. He played Ari Gold in Entourage, who mocks Ari Emanuel, the head of TKO, who is creating a monopoly in MMA. UFC absolutely dominates that sport. There isn't another competitor. If you think it's PFL, you're joking to yourself. If you're looking at boxing, they're trying to create TKO boxing, and they are hand in hand with Turki Al-Sheikh in funding that current output. He is the most powerful man, Al-Sheikh, in boxing. And then you have WWE, who again is just trying to push out the only competition that's currently there, buying up AAA as well, buying up TNA. Like it is concerning.
But competition is good.
Competition is good.
It's good for both companies, because both companies, need to bring their A game every week. You need to be pushed. We saw that in the 90s with WCW. Even then, WWE wasn't pulling this crap. They never put pay-per-views on the same night.
That's true.
They let it run its course, and the wrestlers need more places to go. If everything's owned by TKO, if you get on the outs with TKO, you're done. There's nowhere to go.
That's true.
You need competition. The fans want alternatives. I know a lot of fans are WWE ride or die. That's all they watch.
That's true.
WWE is wrestling. There is nothing else, and that's fine. But that's not everybody. Some people want alternatives to what WWE is running. So competition is good. To me, this is just pettiness. This is just trying to flex a little muscle, hurt AEW on their biggest night.
Unnecessarily, I think.
And you don't need to, because it's not really, you're not going to pull any tickets away from the stadium because you're in Atlanta. You're not running across the street.
The same Monday Night Wars.
Right. And like, as I said, the way TV is set up with DVRs and streaming services, you don't need to watch either live.
It's true. You're
going to watch what you want whenever you want to watch it, and people will watch both.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with everything you said, sir. You know who doesn't like competition? TKO. The corporations, they don't like competition.
No, I know they don't.
But we do. We love it. It's awesome. It's great.
I don't like corporations.
Oh,
there you go.
This is fair. For main man who hates corporations, that's our guy, special advocate Greg Boysen, producer Sean Anderson. I am Big Dave. Like this, share this with everyone. We do this because you all like it. And if you want us to continue to do that, share it with everybody on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on YouTube, wherever you do it at. Let everybody know that CHGO Wrestling is here for you. Tune in. We'll see you next time, y'all. We out. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.